Happiness and success is not luck. It is cultivated.
Having healthy habits, taking care of yourself, yeah, that's a good one. Doing things that altruistic things and taking care of other people in a good way. Yeah, things that, like you said, esteemable acts kind of sums it up well.
Spot on. That's exactly what it is. So we're gonna get into the steps to cultivating a healthy perception on life, which it's not only gonna help you stay sober, it's gonna help you thrive and succeed. It'll literally change the way you see the world, allowing you to react to the world differently. We start off by hitting this keynote, keys to having a positive reality. It's not for everybody. A lot of the people I see coming to treatment, we have a negative outlook on life. It's poor me, I'm a victim. I am not the problem. I'm not responsible for the way the world is treating me, which is absolute bullshit if I'm being completely honest. If I'm going to hold myself accountable and live by example, I am 100% responsible for the way I talk to people, the way I treat people, and the consequences of my actions. Let's just say, if I went out right now and broke the law and I got arrested, most of us would be like, fuck the police, the system this, the system that. But in all actuality, if I had not put myself in a position to be arrested, that would not have happened. So the person to point the finger at would be myself. Gratitude, utmost importance. Instead of waking up every day and looking at the things that I don't like about the world, I wake up and I give reasons to be grateful for the things that I do have. The craziest thing so when you first wake up, when you first set that intention of how you're going to treat your day and how you're going to embrace the day, if I wake up and say, fuck, I don't want to get up, my brain is automatically going to start firing neuropathogens that cause other thoughts and actions to wake up into my head. And so now it's not only, damn, I don't want to wake up, fuck, it's too early. I don't want to have to go to work. Work sucks. And my whole day is then begun to go down on this negative path. But just simple acts like gratitude, if I wake up and say, you know what? I'm alive. I have good health. My legs work. I'm not a paraplegic. I have a job. I have a place to sleep. I am more prone to get on a positive wavelength and vibration, allowing me to have a better day from the get-go. Just this one simple act will set your day off in a positive direction. Absolutely, it's mind over matter for sure.
There are actual scientific studies done on the impact of gratitude. And like you said, like in terms of like neural pathways and whatnot, like gratitude has been scientifically proven to affect that. And even as just something as small as having one simple gratitude routine a day, we just have to change that.
It's not the most simple task once you get on that road.
Absolutely. This is something that has to be cultivated. It's a practice. We're going to get to that too, our habits. So obviously it's not easy to get into a gratitude state of mind, like to be grateful and to be happy and mindful of the things that we do have in our life. That falls back into our habits and actions. So we start off by being accountable. So obviously we spoke in the first part how the normal addict mindset is to be delusional, thinking that our problems and our consequences are not of our undoing. When we start holding ourselves accountable and realize that we are the problem, we are more likely to be mindful of the choices we make that lead to these negative consequences. Now, once we get there, we fall into the action category. So now that I know that I caused my own misery, what can I do to alleviate this misery? Well, we find the solution. And the solution is always in action. No one ever got anywhere by thinking about inventing something, by thinking about doing something. We take action. What actions do we take? Now, this is very important. Most of the time, actually 100% of the time, it's 100% opposite of the shit that we've been doing up to this point in our life, because our best thinking ended up as in a rehab center. We've been incarcerated, we've destroyed relations, we've hurt, manipulated, lied our way through life. And that doesn't make you a bad person, but to this point in time, we've been using our fight or flight. It's our prefrontal cortex. It's our natural instinctual desire to survive. We're living in fear. So where do we go from there? We start showing compassion. Instead of manipulating and lying, I have to understand that I am not perfect. Meaning, if I want to thrive, maybe the next man is also suffering from these same defaults of character. They have the same mindset and they just want to thrive and be happy as well, right? You can't fight fire with fire. So, knowing that this person is sick, there's two things I could do. I can try to be a good person and try to treat people how I want to be treated, and that sometimes is not necessarily so easy. Or I could take the easy low vibration route and just be like, you know what, fuck this guy. I'm only gonna worry about me. I'm gonna do what makes me feel good. But if I'm not part of the solution, I'm guaranteed to be part of the problem. Now here's the sad part. That is a double-edged sword. Because when you don't treat other people with compassion, you most likely don't treat yourself with compassion. We project how we feel on the inside towards other people. So by living it,
that's what I learned by doing my 4-step. It's like, people wouldn't achieve me or done the things they done to me if I wasn't living the way that I was living. Like, you train people to treat you a certain type of way. People can only treat you like you got.
absolutely. Spot on, man. So we start showing compassion, right? This starts building our actions. Now, as we know, things are learned through repetition. So far, the way we lived our life, we do this every day, that became our personal reality. We break that by starting to practice different habits, whether that be gratitude, compassion, mindfulness, contrary action. That is the key to cultivating a positive reality. It doesn't start with your thought process. Well, actually, in a sense, it does. You have to be willing to practice the action. The action then develops a habit. That habit becomes your personal reality, thus altering your reality. And it starts with this simple action. That's it. That's all it takes. You don't need a grand miracle. You don't need a therapist. You just literally have to start by making the next right indicated action. We could have been a murderer yesterday. You could have been a fucking child molester the day before. You know, I'm not necessarily saying that these are good things, right? But taking into consideration that people have experienced generational trauma and have been grown up in poor conditioning, they're sick people. It doesn't make what they did right, but it also doesn't make it wrong. The acceptance of reality means that everybody should have love. Everybody should have the opportunity to excel. We just haven't been taught these things. I'm sure nobody learned this in middle school. We never learned emotional regulation and the long-term effects of our ideals of ourselves. But it's never too late to change. And we start with contrary action. Letting go of our pride, letting go of our ego, letting go of our fear, because 99% of our life, our decisions have been subconsciously motivated by fear, thus causing our reality to be negative. It's that simple. And the worst part is that most of us don't even see it because we've lived this way our entire lives. It's like trying to describe color to a blind man. You've never seen it, so how would you know what it is? Yes.
You're on contrary action.
Yes.
Is it contrary with that
Yes. So when we come in here, we have a negative mindset, we have a negative reality. Yeah, pretty much. Perfect example, when I first came into recovery, my sponsor suggested that I stay away from any sort of sexual relations or codependent actions at all so I could give myself time to heal and become comfortable being alone. Because my entire life I've had abandonment issues, fear of being alone, so I would cling to any sort of comfort and instant gratification that I could. And obviously I didn't want to, but I did. And what I've learned is that I had to learn to love myself. Otherwise, my relationships would be sabotaged by my fear of abandonment. It's been happening my entire life. My wife, my friends, I would push them away because I'm scared of commitment. I'm scared of being loved because I feel unlovable. And this is subconscious. It took me 29 years of my life to figure this out. We don't understand it because we've never seen the other side. So by taking that contrary action, that leap of faith, we're resetting our brain to use different neural pathways. We are retraining our brain. We're reprogramming our mind to think on a positive vibration. Yes?
Do you think that the big book and the whole can fix problems that are outside of addiction?
It's so funny you asked that. I don't think this, I know this. Addiction, so if we had a picture of, let's say, remember the thing that sunk the Titanic and I say you can only see the tip of it?
I guarantee.
So right here, right? This is our drug problem, right here. This is the surface level, this is what we see. This is the manifestation of something that's much deeper. So under here, we have resentment, which also comes to underlying core beliefs. Then we have unresolved emotional trauma.
Can we help you out? Come on.
And at the bottom of that,
Not the ache.
I not only think that the 12-step program has the cure and solution to our problem, I know this. 100% without a doubt. Our drug addiction, addicts don't have a drug addiction. We have a solution to an underlying problem that till up until this point in life, we had no idea existed. Somewhere, and this is, I guarantee this is a common denominator in all of our past, we have fucked up childhoods. We had unstable homes, we had lack of love, we've had violent sexual abuse. I guarantee you that every person in this room has experienced something of that nature, whether it be from a different demographic or, race, poverty line, doesn't matter. I guarantee you somewhere in your life, you've experienced a lack of love or an unstable home and conditioning. Am I right? I don't have to know you because I know the problem. But there's a solution to that. When you realize that you are the problem, and it's not the world's fault, it's not your circumstances, that you can cultivate happiness, you cultivate success. And it all starts with action.
Sitting there is like bullshit.
I wouldn't say it's bullshit. I believe that at some point in your life, if you want to keep peeling back the layers of the onion, that some outside help would be great. But this is a wonderful place to start.
Well, I don't no offense to anybody, I don't respect. I think, again, no disrespect. Everybody who blames other people for their problems is fucking coward. No offense to nobody, but just the way it is.
You're right.
You just got a man to fuck up, a woman to fuck up, and say, you know what? Start the solution to this problem. So let's move on. For example, I don't want to name names, but was that up? They go like, no, all shit.
HIPAA, bro.
What?
HIPAA.
Okay. Sorry, bro. She's always talking about how they broke my nose, how this, that. It's like, well, shut the fuck up, I want to hear. You know? I'm giving you my time. It's like, I've never heard her say, you know what? She's using an example. Like, oh, you know, it's my fault. I fucked up. So you get tired of it.
For sure, bro.
You know, it's like, oh, it's not the world, it's you.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to admit they're the problem. People need to.
Leveling your pride and becoming aware of the fact that you are 100% responsible for all of your shortcomings, it takes a lot. It's almost easier to blame God or the devil for the way your life is than saying, hey, maybe I live a fucked up life. I'm gonna blame the devil instead of the fact that
I'm
I'm
mad at God. I was like, solid.
mad at yourself,
You know, I can't do
But that's my lesson for today, guys.
Thank you, Caleb.
Happiness and success is something that's cultivated. It's not by a stroke of luck. It's not by chance. It is something that is literally cultivated.
Awesome.
I only say this from experience. Yeah,
You did a phenomenal job, brother.
Thank
you.
you.
So much.
Yay.
I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Stay beautiful, world, unless you had other plans. Oh my God, I wasn't recording.